Now I want you to play along with me, okay? As you bring your hands together, Varsha is going to demo here. I want you, all of you, I want to see all your hands. Put your pens down. I want all your hands. Put your pens down, otherwise I'm going to walk to you. So bring your hands together. Put your hands up. You can see Varsha. Bring your hands together and clasp them. Clasp. You know what I mean by clasp? Hold them together. Now I want you to observe. Hold it forward. Hold it forward, yeah. I want you to observe. Okay, some of us have our left thumb over our right, while others may have their right thumb over the left. There is no other way unless you have no thumb. Okay? Now I want you to be observant of this. Observe this. Now I want you to take your hands apart slowly. Take them apart. Yeah, follow Varsha. Come, stand here, Varsha. Take them apart. Now bring them back together. But this time, my dear friends, change the thumbs. Change the thumb. If your left thumb was over the right, put the right thumb over the left. Okay? Everyone done that? How does it feel, Praveen? You find it some discomfort. Out of place. This side? Discomfort. Weird. Unnatural. Unnatural. Okay. You're not used to it. Let me tell you what. Take your hands apart again for the final time. And now bring them back together any which way you want. Any which way you want. I want you to observe. I want you to observe. I asked you, pattern, old pattern. I asked you to make one little change, but you found discomfort, right? You found it weird. You found it not comfortable. And given the slightest opportunity, you went back to being the way you were before I asked you to make this little change. But my dear friends, change happens. Change is happening every moment. Right now, as I speak, as you listen, as you breathe, every cell in our body is changing. Do you agree? Yes. So also, my dear friends, in the business environment, in our workspace, in our careers, change is happening all around us. The real question is, how do we handle this change? How do we handle this change? Can anyone tell me, how do you handle change happening in your life, happening in your business, happening in your careers, in your environment? How do you handle this change in your workspace? Can anyone tell me? Accept it. Very good. Straight away, she accepts it. Yes. Tell me. Okay. Allow and be in the space of receiving. Fantastic. Okay. Embrace it. Accept it. But guys, I asked you to make one little change. Did you receive it? Did you embrace it? Did you accept it? You did not. You didn't object when I said all of you went back to being the way you were. Did you object? You said, no, Ram, I did not go back. Did you say that? You did not. So my dear friends, we say that we accept change, but actually we don't. So how do we handle change? Because we know change is happening. How do we handle change? The very first thing that we need to do, yes, someone said mindset. First thing is, we need to anticipate that some change is going to happen. So first thing is anticipate that some change is going to happen in my workspace. Second, monitor. Monitor the change. Change is happening. Monitor the change. How many of us anticipated that COVID would happen? We didn't anticipate, right? We didn't anticipate. How many of us monitored it? We did monitor it. We monitored it, right? We started working from home. So first you anticipate, second you monitor, third, what do? Accept it because you have no choice. And then what? Then adapt to it. And then what? Then change. And then what? Enjoy the change. Enjoy the change, move with the change, and then what? And then be ready to change again. Because, my dear friends, change is the only constant. So, absolutely, that's the only permanent thing. But the real question is, we don't change. There is something that drives people to change. We all want growth. We all want the money. We saw the money on paper. We love it. We all want this cash flow. But we are not willing to change. So my question to you is, what is it then that drives people to change? What would drive you to change, Kokila? What would drive you to change, Bhajan? Threat. So there are only two things, my coach Tony Robbins says, that drive people to change. The first one is pain. Pain, threat. Only when your business or your career is in pain, when your business is not progressing, when you're suffering, that's when you sit up and want to make the change. Only in your workspace, when you're not happy, you have a lousy boss, you want to change. Pain is the first thing that drives people to change. What is the second thing? Pleasure, absolutely. Pleasure. You know, it was painful for me to leave the glittering city of Hong Kong, where I was employed in a very cushy job, import-export manager at GC Exports. But I was threatened. It was painful. I was threatened in Hong Kong. Do you know by who? My to-be father-in-law. Varsha, I'm sorry. My to-be father-in-law threatened me. He said, Ram, if you want to marry my daughter, you have to go back to India, go back to Bangalore and help your father in his business. My father used to run a small retail store, 8th Cross, Malleshwaram, Bangalore. It was painful for me to leave the glittering city of Hong Kong, guys. Can you imagine? And coming and sitting in the streets of 8th Cross, Malleshwaram. But I attached immense pleasure to the fact that I would be marrying my heartthrob. And hence I embraced the change happily. So then, you know what drove me to change? The pleasure. So only two things drive people to change. See, the pain or pleasure. You know, it was Charles Darwin. You know Charles Darwin? Theory of evolution. It was Charles Darwin who said, it is not the strongest of the species, nor the most intelligent. It is not the strongest of the species, nor the most intelligent that will survive, but the ones that are most adaptable to change. But my question on what Charles Darwin said, is it merely enough, my dear friends, for us to survive? Is it enough to survive? We are all surviving, right? What do we want to do? We want to thrive. We want to thrive. So I also wanted to thrive. And back from Hong Kong, in Bangalore, I wanted to thrive. So I started working hard. I worked hard in my father's business and grew that business. I worked really hard. But I felt the results were not enough. So I worked harder. From one store, I made it into 2, into 3, into 4, into 5 stores. I was working really hard. But nothing happened. It was then that I was introduced by my chartered accountant to this organization called BNI. And at that time, I remember, I realized that, hey, you know what? This is what is going to help me thrive. It is not about me alone working hard. It is not about hard work alone, but the power of networking, the power of collaboration that's going to help me thrive. And so I jumped in and I said, now I found the missing piece of the puzzle. And this missing piece is going to help me thrive and take me to the next level. And 6 months into BNI, the insurance guy was doing great business. The real estate fellow was minting money. But me, the clothing guy, what is this? Zero. Big zero. And I said, hey, you know what? I used to believe that you are not working if you're not networking. But here I was working hard and I was networking also, but no results were coming my way. I was working and networking, but no results were coming my way. And that's when I realized that, hey, you know what? I'm not networking in the right manner. And then I discovered 4 golden nuggets. 4 golden nuggets of networking. If you want to know, I'll share them with you. Would you be interested? Okay, great. What about this side? Okay. I'm not asking you to shout. I can hear very well. You're interested, I'll share with you. The first golden nugget that I discovered was that networking is more about farming than it is about hunting. You know, what does a farmer do? A farmer prepares the soil, he tills the land, he prepares the soil, he plants seeds, he takes care of those seeds, and he nurtures those little saplings when they grow, and that's when they grow into trees and bear fruit for months and years to come. What does a hunter do? A hunter lies waiting for the prey to come. He's waiting. The minute the prey comes, he takes out his gun, aims, shoots. He enjoys the spoils of his kill, and he's ready to hunt again. What I was doing, I was being the hunter. Every person that I would meet in the network, I would take out my business card and stick it in their face. And I would say, hey, you know what? I'm Ram Santani, and I'm in the clothing business, and this is what I would do. What I should have been doing instead was farming. Asking the other person, hi, good morning, what's your name? What do you do, sir? And seeing how I could help him, how I could nurture his business. And the minute I started doing that, magic happened. The hunter had transformed into a farmer. People were now looking out for me and seeing how they could help me grow my business. That's the first golden rule, the golden nugget of networking. The second nugget is give without expecting anything back in return. Giving without any expectation of getting anything back in return. You may find this very strange. I started doing that. You may find it strange because coming from a Sindhi, that too from a guy who learned his tricks of the trade in Hong Kong, and I'm saying I started giving without expecting anything back in return. You know, we Sindhis and Marwadis, I'm sorry if there are any Marwadis in the room here. We Sindhis and Marwadis have a reputation. Yeah? You also have a reputation? You're Sindhi as well, right? So you understand my drift. But yes, my dear friends, that's what I started doing. I started giving without keeping a tally. Hey, you know what? I helped this guy, I helped this guy, I helped this lady, and they have to help me back. I just go out there and keep doing what I'm doing. Keep helping people and help them grow their business. Help them grow as people. And when I started adding that value, magic happened even more. People started connecting me. And that's when my retail business of clothing changed forever. I got connected to a 5-star hotel, the Chancery Pavilion, and we started a new vertical of uniforms in our business. And that vertical took over the other business, and shortly I started closing my retail stores. Because now we had learned how to sell the same clothes in bulk and not sell them one at a time from a high street, but to sell them in bulk across the country. So giving without expecting anything in return is the second golden nugget of networking. The other thing I learned, now that I started giving without expecting anything back in return, I realized that it was not all about I and me, but us and we. I started getting visible. And every moment in the network, today the network in Bangalore is 3,640 members strong. And I wouldn't be bragging if I said at least 3,000 members will know me. So, while I may not know all their names, but they will know me. So, getting visible, I started getting roles to handle in the community. they made me a training director consultant. They said, Ram, you speak very well. Can you help train this team? And that's when I realized that when my kids were little, I see some lovely kids running around here. They would never go to sleep till I told them a story. And they would always tell their mother, they would trouble her and said, no, till Papa comes, we are not going to sleep. And I said, okay. I used to come and read them storybooks. They got quite bored of them soon enough. And that's when I became a strategic storyteller. So life shapes you into what you become. It was Steve Jobs who said, you can only connect the dots when you look backwards. You can't connect the dots looking forwards. Right? So where each one of us is today, when you look backwards, you can connect the dots to see what is it that brought you here in this room to improve your cash flow. So I would call Varsha before coming home from my store every night to find out the mischief that the children had been to during the day. And when they were in bed, ready to sleep, I would come there and narrate a story. In those days, we used to get a comic clip called Dennis the Menace. How many of you know that? And Dennis would always do a lot of mischief and get into trouble. So I would come there, and I already know the mischief both my girls had been doing, and I would tell them the story of Dennis who did the same mischief and got into trouble. The girls would giggle, 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 and then go to sleep. You know why they would giggle? Because they didn't get into trouble. But Dennis got into trouble. That's where I sowed the seeds of becoming a strategic storyteller. So, getting visible at every opportunity you get. So when BNI offered me the opportunity of being a training director, of being a support director, of being a launch director, I said yes. I grabbed it and said I will learn how to do it. I jumped in and said I will learn how to do it. That's the third golden nugget of networking. Get visible at every opportunity you get. Even in a workshop like this, when the trainer tells you, asks you, is there any leader in the table? Be the first person to stand up. Okay. The fourth nugget of networking is gratitude. Never, never, never forget to express your gratitude to the giver. So, thank you so much, Karthik, for making sure that I am here, and Hema for following up to make sure I'm here. Karthik said, Ram, I know I'm going to take 2 days off from you, but I want you to be here. So, thank you for that. Yes. So, expressing gratitude to the giver is the fourth golden nugget of networking. So you can see I never miss an opportunity to get visible. I didn't know that this opportunity is going to be given to me. It just happened, right? It just happened. So that's the fourth golden nugget. So I believe that each one of us is not working if we are not networking. But there is a manner in which that we need to network. Okay, I'm going to share with you today. I need 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to share with you today the 12 by 12 by 12 rule of networking.
Please write down.
Okay.
Very
the 12 by 12 by 12 rule of networking. For that, I want a volunteer.
One of
Fantastic. See, the volunteer just steps up and comes in. This is the opportunity to get visible. Your good name? Vinod Shivani. Vinod, lovely meeting you. So, at any event, when you want to network with someone, you will see, I'm sure that most of us here haven't networked with each person in the room. We haven't spoken to each person in the room, right? Why is that? Think about it. There's a reason for that. When you look at a person that you want to network with from 12 feet away, 12 by 12 by 12 rule, I told you. The first 12 is when you look at a person 12 feet away, as you're approaching that person, you're already, as humans, we like to form a judgment of people instantly. Do you agree with me? We form a judgment of people. So when you look at the person 12 feet away, you're going to look at him, okay, how is he dressed? Appearance matters. How is he dressed? He looks quite decently dressed. And as you're walking towards him, I don't mind starting a conversation with him. So be aware of how you look to others 12 feet away. And as you come closer, How do you come across 12 inches away? I'm not going any closer, don't worry. Okay. How do you come across 12 inches away? 12 inches away, you can even smell the aroma, right? You can smell the fragrance. He's had a bath. You know, many a time people roll out of bed because you have to come early for a networking event. He's had a bath, he's decent, right? He doesn't keep a 4-day-old stubble. Nowadays, you know, IT guys, sorry guys, you know, you have to work from home, you have to go to office. Either you keep a beard or you take it off. Don't have a 4-day stubble because it makes you look sleepy even though you're not. 12 inches away, he looks decent. Yeah, he uses a deo. Huh? Okay, good. Great. Nandan there knows exactly. Because Nandan uses axe. You know why he uses axe? Because of the ad. Yes? So, 12 feet away, 12 inches away. It's decent, right? And then, what are my first 12 words? Is it all about me? Sir, good morning. My name is Ram Santani. You know, I'm in the clothing business and I'm a trainer and I'm the... Yeah, do you go there and vomit everything onto the person? Or are your first 12 words about him? Sir, good morning. Yeah, can I know more about you? What do you do, sir?
Sir, I'm in FMCG distribution business.
Okay, great. And how long have you been doing this? Do I want to know more about the other person? The more interest that we have in the other person, the more opportunities open up for us. So thank you so much, sir. Please take your seat. Can we hear it for him? Yeah. If you network in that manner, what are the benefits that you can expect? The benefits of networking are very much like tossing a pebble in a pond. How many of us as children we've thrown a stone in a body of water? We have, right? The benefits of networking are very much like the ripples that are created in a pond when you throw a pebble into it. What may seem like a very minor connection today may, after many ripples across the network, land up in a phenomenal connection later. So, my dear friends, it was Robert Kiyosaki, since it's cash flow, I recall a quote from Robert Kiyosaki because that's who created this game. It was Robert Kiyosaki who said, the wealthiest people in the world look for and build networks. The rest look for work. Thank you so much. Back to you, Karthik.